It's Atlanta's #1 hip-hop station, Hot 107.9. Reec right here with a new friend of the show, my dog Lecrae in the building. What up?
You already know what it is, man. It's an honor. It's a pleasure, man. I'm in here.
That's what's up. Y'all heard him say it. It's on camera, so you can't take it back.
Yeah.
Man, let's talk first because I see a shift in the music a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about it. I know you've explained this a million times, but these listeners need to know what's going on. Why are you breaking away from your main, I guess, regular fan base?
Well, I wouldn't even say breaking away. I would say it's an expansion. You know what I'm saying? It's an expansion because, a lot of times people want you to kind of, stay in the lane or in a box. Yeah. And, when you feel like, man, I'm not confined to that. I'm bigger than that. Let me spread my wings and fly. You just got to let people do that. So it's happened with tons of artists, and some people make the transition well, some people don't. Lil Wayne picked up a guitar, people wasn't feeling it. And, it's always something where it's like, man, I'm just trying to broaden my horizons, and eventually people get used to it. So for me, it's like I'm not, I'm the same me I've always been, but it's just you getting to see the full picture of who I am. You getting to see the whole me, and that's really what it comes down to. Ain't nothing changed. It's the same old dude, but it's just a broader audience.
That's what I was gonna say, man. It didn't feel like an NBA dude going to do music. It just felt like a guy that's doing music that has always been himself, as far as the big public eye knows, and now you're just expanding and being more of yourself.
Yep, absolutely, man. So that's how I look at it, and it's just, I definitely am being more real. You know what I'm saying? Because some people just see the righteous side of you and they think, oh, that's how you are all the time, and they never see the ratchet side of you, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where it's just kind of like I'm a real person who can admit, I'm not perfect, I don't have it all together, but at the same time, I'm fighting to be who I was made to be, and it's just that's the everyday human struggle. So
I got you.
That's what the music is.
I got you. I know at times I heard you say you felt more free when you were able to go and cross over to more of like an inspirational music side of it. Now, do you even feel more free now that you kind of like, I can mix a little bit of this and a little bit of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's how people are. That's how most people are. So folks is gonna leave the lounge on Saturday night, and then they gonna go to church on Sunday morning.
Right,
and
with the same clothes on. It's all good, though.
Yeah, with the same clothes on, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, some people do that, you know what I mean? But end of the day, it's like, that's what I'm making music for. I'm making music for real people who are, living real life, and I'm talking about real issues, and it's no sugarcoating, it's no fake stuff. It's what people need, man. And that's what I'm bringing to the table.
I like that, man. We kicking it with Lecrae right now. We talking about real life situations. And speaking of real life, man, a lot of people talked about what they were gonna do after Charlottesville. You really put it and did something for the people, man. Tell me what inspired you to just throw money at these people so they can move.
I just thought when I saw everything go down in Charlottesville, I thought, man, if I had a little sister there or something like that, I would be worried for her safety. And if she felt trapped, like, man, I'm trapped because I go to school here. This is where I'm getting my education. What do I do? And I was like, man, let me try to make that easier on you by saying, if you want to transfer, if you want to be safe, let me help you do that. And shout out to my homegirl, Tamika Washington, who works as an academic advisor. She was able to give me some rundown on how to make that an easy transition for these students. And all I had to do was,
stroke the check.
Yeah, write a check. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, that's the least I could do. You know what I mean? So a lot of times people it's easy to post something. It's hard to make a difference. And that's what I'm just trying to do, is really make a difference.
I got you.
Yeah.
So you in ATL now. Is this home now?
ATL is home.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is the capital. So,
I got you. So he's in the building for real.
Yeah.
And I know the floods happened. Obviously, everybody knows the tragedy that struck out in Houston. You from Texas,
right? Yeah.
Did it affect a lot of family? And
it did, man. It did, and I've been doing the best I can to help kind of restore the situation. There's so much that need to be done. Like it's literally like I had a cousin who lost her hair salon, lost her house, and so it's like, man, she just got to start all the way over. So it's hard to really help people start from scratch. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing to be like, here's a bed or, but it's like, man, you got to build your whole career from the bottom to the top. So it's tough, but people are resilient, man. They fighting back and they pushing forward, and it's been a lot of help to make it happen.
I got you, man. I appreciate that. The boy Lecrae checking in right now, man. When I hear songs like Logic, I hear the Suicide song, and it feels like you just said, a lot of people feel trapped. I know you said that also you've battled things and crazy thoughts and depression, man. Tell me a little bit about that.
I feel like, man, one, in the black community, we don't really talk about that type of stuff. And I feel like more people need to talk about it because everybody go through it. You know what I'm saying? You got some friend or some family member who's dealing with depression, or, mental illness or, you know what I'm saying, suicidal thoughts, all that type of stuff. And we can't be afraid to address it and just and talk about it, because everybody goes through different circumstances. And, they always try to paint, the black women is just the strongest people. Like, nah, they go through struggles. They go through, you know what I'm saying? They don't always got to act like they the toughest people in the world. And
Big Mama cried too.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get letters all the time from my people who are locked up, and, they cry in real tears, but they can't show that because, they can't show weakness. And so I just do it for those who can't, or for those who don't feel free. I talk about that type of stuff so that people can, feel the freedom to, like, be yourself, man. Because if you can't name your wounds, then you can't never heal.
When this man gonna run for president or something? You done gave me about 10 T-shirt slogans since we been in here, bro.
Hey, man, listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we do. That's what we do.
We kicking it with Lecrae right now. We gonna jump back to the music, man. What is like the most immediate song that you think is needed for right now that you put together?
Man, that's a good. I don't know. I think this whole album that I did, All Things Work Together, man, it's a song for every situation. I think the album is immediate. I think it's just necessary. It speaks to everything that's going on in the culture. It speaks to, all the division in the country. It speaks to, you know what I'm saying, systemic injustice and oppression. It speaks to, being broke made people rich. You know what I'm saying? It speaks to just people struggling. It speaks to, like, man, like, let me have fun tonight and let me go out and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? And without having to think about all this nonsense. So it's a perfect album for the times that we in right now.
That's definitely what's up. Now, speaking of going out and having a good time, tonight, I heard you shutting down Tabernacle.
Man, it's about to be a movie.
Hey, bro, you know what's so crazy? When I had Lecrae tickets to give away, I said it like you're not right in front of me, but I had the tickets to give away, and I was like, I don't know if this audience is already familiar with the new stuff you're doing, right?
Yeah.
I promise, soon as I mentioned I had these tickets, these phone lines went crazy, like Jesus and Jay-Z was performing together.
That's a good combination.
Look, it might be on his next track. I just want my like Puff Daddy credits. You know
hey, man, yeah, man. Nah, that's love, man. Man, the supporters show me so much love, and Atlanta shows me so much love, and it's always crazy. The fans come out in droves, and listen, y'all, if you ain't never seen it, you need to see it. If you heard the music or you heard about it, that's one thing, but the live show is another whole story, because it's recording artists and it's performing artists, and I do both. Yeah, and we don't play around on that stage, man. It's gonna be a movie. I promise you that.
He will make you feel every word, man. I promise you that. Even when I saw the BET performance, I was like, you were speaking spoken word, and I was like, man, I feel that. I felt like I should do something right now.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean, outside of the music and outside of the message and everything else, man, I look at shows like Kanye and K-Dot and even like a Justin Bieber, and I'm like, how do I fit all of that inside of the Tabernacle? So that's what we're trying to do tonight. So it's gonna be crazy. I can promise you that. I gotta make sure the acrobat's legs are still working right tonight. You know what I'm saying? And the lions and the tigers are straight. But other than that, man, it's gonna be a movie.
So you may come through the ceiling in a helicopter, you never know.
Hey.
Kicking it with Lecrae right now, man. Only thing I wanted to ask you about is what happened in New York, bro? You saving lives for real.
Oh man, that was crazy. Man, I'm trying to give you the abridged version of it, but man, I'm in New York. We talking about Cardi B and how she killing, and then my man's like, you want to go to the Bronx? That's where she come from. Let's go to the Bronx. So we walking in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? No security. That's how we do. Nah, but
he's protected by higher spirits.
You feel me? God got my but you know what I'm saying? So but we walking through the Bronx. I see a lady come running, out the corner of my eye with a shirt off. And I'm like, yo, man, this lady ain't got no shirt on. What's going on? My man Andy's like, it's New York, let it happen. So I was like, all right, I'm going to just play my role. But then she runs into a pole. Her head, splits her head open. She's bleeding everywhere. Wow. And then I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Then she runs to the edge of the bridge and tries to jump. I caught her out the corner of my eye and just grabbed her and said, nah, what are you doing?
Right.
So she's fighting me, kicking and screaming like, let me go, let me go. I'm trying to meet God. And I'm like, nah, God wants you to live. He ain't done with you yet. You know what I'm saying? And like, you still got breath in your lungs. You supposed to be here. And man, she's just in tears. She crying, man. And, we just holding her down and fighting. She's kicking and screaming, but eventually she just runs out of energy, and she just sit there. She's just crying, and finally some authorities came and took her away and whatnot. And hopefully, man, I'm hoping that she's healed and she's better. And if you hear this, you know, wherever you at, man, listen, it's all love. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if she knew who I was, but you know, you all, hey, it's you family now, so we got your back.
Well, you definitely protected, because that situation could have went so crazy in so many different ways.
Oh,
You
man.
talk about a dude your size, you already built like an NFL player.
Yeah.
You holding down what perceives to look like a Caucasian woman. You know what I'm saying? Like that could have went.
No, she was Dominican, I think, Hispanic. So
Something like that.
Yeah. But I feel you though. It could have went sideways.
Like when the cops came.
Oh yeah, it could have been all bad.
Yeah.
It could have been all bad. But you know what was sad too was, you know, and shout out to, you know, to a lot of Atlanta PD, man, because I feel like Atlanta PD really does a good job of keeping the balance, you know what I'm saying, of not just jumping the gun. I feel like Atlanta PD is comfortable being around people of color. A lot of Atlanta PD are people of color, so they don't be as quick. But it was a messed up situation, because when the police did come in and hold her down, some cops saw from a distance that there was just a scuffle, and then they came in aggressive and mistreated her. And you know, we trying to like defend her and talk, but obviously they weren't paying us no mind. So you know, man, shout out to the good cops out there who really trying to do the right thing, man.
Right. Yeah, I heard you got into it with the APD too, though.
Yeah. But that's why I say, man, all y'all ain't bad. That was a bad situation.
Right.
You know, I got drew down on. Who would have thought, man? I'm out here trying to do right, but
Lecrae out here getting drawn down on the public, man.
But listen, hey, all things work together. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So Atlanta PD, we probably will need them tonight at the Tabernacle. So we got nothing negative to say, man.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean? It's
absolutely.
gonna be a good time.
Appreciate you, man. I'm gonna let you get up out of here, get ready for this show. Man, it's always a pleasure. And let them know, for the 17 people that aren't following you on Instagram, tell them where they can get you at.
Oh, make sure you follow me. It's at Lecrae, Lecrae. Because if you don't spell it right, I'm not responsible for what happens.
All right, Lecrae, I got one question, man.
Come on.
This is the question. What does Lecrae, at this time, at this point right here, say to 16-year-old Lecrae?
Whew, to 16-year-old me?
Yeah.
I would say, even what I have to tell myself, you know, now, man, if you live for people's acceptance, you're going to die from their rejection. Stop worrying about what everybody thinks about you and be who you was made to be. Real talk.
There's nothing left to say after that. Top 107 out. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.